Okay, so why do we call this mastery? Well, very simply, it is about uh, having the perfect structure or a mastered structure in our business. And very much, it's not about this happening by accident. It is about a very specific, very measured steps that we are taking to achieve this level of foundation and this level of stability in our organization. So mastery fits in on the bottom of a table that we call the 6 crucial steps to achieving massive results in our business. The 6 steps, very simply, as you can see on the screen, are mastery, niche, leverage, team, synergy, and results. And they go up in that order. I'm not going to deal with the rest of the Mayan pyramid this afternoon. I'm focusing just on the mastery space here. And it is, as I say, in this space about eliminating chaos. So there's a lovely word in Zulu, which is spiti piti. It means the chaos, the anxiety, the space of trouble. And what we really want to do in the mastery space is get rid of that anxiety and take our business into a space of stability. So this is a model just out of interest that is the basis of my coaching relationship with my clients, and I take them through this as the fundamentals for growth and success in their business. So when we're taking our business from chaos to control through the mastery process, we are in fact establishing a commercial enterprise. And the foundations of mastery in terms of commerciality is about establishing the basis of success, the framework of success. And so there are 4 areas to mastery. There is destination mastery. Destination mastery is about the vision. It is about the values of the business, and it's understanding what that business means within the life of the business owner. And very simply is because we talk about it's being crucial for the business owner to have a life plan. In other words, an ultimate outcome for where they want to be personally and within a business space. That life plan informs the business plan of their enterprise, their business, in order to fulfill and enable the life plan. And the defined business plan then determines what the marketing plan needs to look like, because the marketing plan has to generate the leads for deals, for customers, clients that fulfill the business plan in order to fulfill the life plan. So the destination mastery is crucial. That's the one we will be dealing with today. Money mastery is all about the finances. We touched on some of the fundamentals of that in a call last week, but I'll be exploring that tomorrow. Time mastery being the mastery of self more than our idea or our concept of time management. Because of course we can't really manage time. We can only manage ourselves within the time that we have available. And then delivery mastery being the consistent delivery to our customer base. Okay, so let's talk about. So I'm just getting some feedback. I just need to mute a couple of participants. There we go. Oops. Okay, so destination mastery and vision. So the very first step that we spoke about in our call last week was about looking at what our vision for our business is. And that was based off of dream charting. So in other words, planning our lives, planning what we want to get out of business, out of our enterprise, and that in turn leading into the vision for our business and the vision for our lives. So destination mastery and vision is very much based on our beliefs. It's based on the mission we understand for ourselves and for our business. And it's based on the environment in which our organization operates. And this portion for me is very much about understanding our business as an organism, as part of a community, as part of a web of engagement. And it's crucial because we interact as business people and we interact as businesses. And as a result, that generates deals, it generates sales. Very simply off the notion, and I'm sure that the more established salespeople on this call will agree with me that 99% of sales are made where we know the person we're buying from, where we like the person that we're buying from, and where we trust the person that we're buying from. And so having that clarity of alignment with the environment within which we operate is absolutely crucial. So when we talk about setting our vision, we're talking about what do we want to see in a future state. Now that future state could be the 17th of April. It could be the day after we come out of lockdown. It could be this time next year. It could be 6 months from now. It could be 3 months from now. So yes, under normal circumstances, a vision is a long-term engagement. And very crucially, a vision is not something that ultimately we want to achieve. It is something that drives what we want to achieve, because when our vision is achievable, it's a to-do list. It's not an expanded space of thinking. It's not a space of growth. So it is very important as well that we're quite specific in what we want that future vision to be able to deliver. And when we're talking mindset here in terms of how we come out of lockdown, it's important to position within ourselves and within our organization, what does the 17th of April look like for us? How many clients do we have on board? What does our lead stream look like? What does our revenue stream look like? How are we on track to achieve profitability by the end of April? Bearing in mind we are midway through a month. We've just come out of the first quarter of this year, and this month is the start of our next quarter. So how do we use this month to kickstart into the next 90 days to where we then deliver our second quarter or first half results being the end of June? So this is quite a crucial period, and that's why it's important that we're very specific about the vision that we want to achieve over this time. Secondly, very, very important point, not necessarily in bullet order, but in terms of mindset, is let's not work, or it's crucial that we don't work on the assumption that the systems that we have in place and the systems that we need will run on exactly the same framework as they do now or as they did before we went into lockdown. As I said previously, we are in a time of change. Our new normal is not yet established. If we're fortunate, we'll go right back to the way things were done before. But we already know that consumer mindset is starting to change. Customer mindset is starting to change. People are spending more time online. People are spending more time in a home environment. How does that impact their future vision for how I do business? How do I make my business more effective, more efficient? Do I start thinking more about a work from home scenario? Do I start thinking about ejecting and eschewing all this extensive overhead that I might carry, whether that's office space, whether it is massive staff complement, etc., etc. People's thinking is starting to change, and so the concept of the systems that we have that service our business now being the same systems that will service our business into the future is not actually, it's not going to fly. And Friday I spoke about those businesses and those business owners who set their mindset to thriving are the ones who are going to set the rules of the game by which we play. The ones who want to just come out in the survival space, they're going to fall behind. But the thrivers, the ones who are right now working on the growth of their business, who I'm hoping is everybody on this call, these are the people who are going to set the mindset and the rules of the game that we will play once we come out of lockdown. So it is important to understand that our systems will not be the same. If we are going to grow, if we are going to take advantage of opportunities, if we are going to work in a new normal as yet to be defined, our systems won't be the same because we still have to define those new normals. So it's crucial that we're then open to whatever modifications we need to make in our organization. I've mentioned before on the call, very often people don't like to move because they don't know what the end point looks like. This is where we start to set what that end point looks like. We don't move because of fear. We define fear in the coaching environment as false expectations appearing real, FEAR. False expectations appearing real. They hold us back from making certain decisions because the lack of information about an end state makes that a very undesirable and uncomfortable place to be. So by defining our vision, by defining our destination, we create comfort. We expand our comfort zone, and that gives us a better place to be able to work in. Obviously, that can be physical, it can be our organizational structure, it can be the how we do things, it can be where we do those things. These are all spaces that become comfortable, and that right now we need to be quite agile around in terms of achieving the vision in a new normal environment. So crucially, as we go through setting this vision, it's absolutely important that our vision is based on our beliefs. So this is not me trying to teach you to suck eggs. It's not me trying to preach to the choir. It's me trying to reinforce the basics of setting a firm foundation for your business. Remember, this is about the mastery of where we want to go as a business. So our vision has to be encompassed by our beliefs. Our beliefs must meet the organizational goals as well as the community goals. Remember me saying this is a web. This is an Ubuntu environment where we are working with other business owners to achieve either collective goals or to be able to drive certain goals and certain activities that have mutual benefit for everybody. Absolutely, it's a statement of our values. But more than that, it is what we stand in the public by. I don't know if that was good English. What we stand by in the public domain. So, you know, the conversation of my word is my bond. It's the values by which I live. And so therefore, if my belief system supports my values will be true. If my values are there simply from a marketing point of view and I can't live out those values, very quickly that will be seen through and the authenticity of my business will suffer. So that said, it's crucial that beliefs are practical. You know, if we hold ourselves to such a high standard that we can't live by them, then again, it will fall flat and it won't be sustainable. And it's absolutely fundamental because it guides the actions of everybody in our organization. And it's the point of identification for our customers. Remember, we buy from people we know, like, and trust. And one of the first things we gauge people by is the values by which they stand, the beliefs by which they operate, and the same goes for businesses. So we have to take that into account when we look at our strategic planning and we look at our vision setting of where we want our business to be at the beginning of our growth journey and our pivoting journey and our transformation journey. So the one big thing that I want to, I suppose, share with everybody as part of the vision setting conversation and being driven by beliefs is this little model. We call it the identity iceberg. Above the surface of the water there, represented by the wavy lines, we have all of our results, whether those are actions, whether those are decisions, or whether those are behaviors. They are either positive, they are negative, but they are the outcome. And it's the what is visible, right? So the values, the beliefs, the how we stand in the public domain, that is all above the waterline. But when we look at what sits below the waterline, this becomes a very, very interesting conversation, because if we look at the iceberg, we know that 90% of an iceberg sits below the surface, and only about 10% of an iceberg sits above the surface of the water. What was it that sunk the Titanic? It wasn't the bit above the water. It was the bit below the water. It was the unseen. The unseen protrusions, the unseen mass of everything below the water surface that resulted in the failure of the Titanic, the sinking of the Titanic. So the four elements that we look at below the waterline here are skills, beliefs, values, and identity. And those are all shaped by the environment in which we operate. So again, the symbiosis, the network, the web meshing with our environment. And when most organizations go through change, they tend to focus on that first level. They tend to focus on skills. They give people the right skills to be able to do things, and then expect them to go off and employ those skills. But what they never do is they never impact beliefs, they never impact the value systems, and they never impact the identity of the people in that conversation or in those teams. And so the very simple reality here is, if we don't impact beliefs, if we don't impact values, if we don't impact identity, then irrespective, the number of skills that we teach and train to people won't bear fruit, and especially will not bear fruit over the longer term. So I know that a number of us right now are doing things like reskilling ourselves in certain areas, refocusing on our marketing environments, building our business vision based on new skills, etc., that we acquire. But if those moves don't resonate with us individually, if they don't touch right down deep to our identity, the chances of success over this period, the chances of growth, become significantly reduced. So let me use a very practical example in this conversation. So, our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, has been described as now being a wartime president. He has acted decisively, and he has really driven a war plan to try and contain the pandemic in South Africa. So let's take a little bit of a leaf out of that military book, and let's say that we need to train somebody in a very militaristic way to be a sniper. So we're running a military operation, and we need to train somebody to be able to eliminate a target at, say, 1,500 meters, 1.5 kilometers away. So we take them through, and these are all of the outcomes, right? The results, everything we're seeing above the water, the actions, the decisions, the behaviors that the actions they take, the decisions they make, and the behaviors they display as a sniper are all designed to deliver a particular result, and that is eliminate a target at 1.5 kilometers distance. So what do? We teach them the skills of how to land that bullet right into the bullseye of the target. Now, obviously, I'm using a bit of a euphemism here. Target is most likely going to be a person. Same analogy works if you're teaching somebody to hunt and the target is an animal, for example. So we teach them the skills. We teach them how to set up their rifle. We teach them how to load the rifle. We teach them how to sight the scope. We teach them how to account for windage, how to account for elevation. We teach them to understand that the bullet's going to drop over a certain distance. And so we teach them all of the technical skills around taking that shot and landing the bullet into the bullseye. And we put them on a range, and out they go, and they set up their rifle, and they do everything perfectly. And they pull the trigger, and the bullet flies, and it hits the bullseye time after time after time after time. We have effectively taught them the skills they need to complete their mission. We've taught them the skills to get that bullet to travel 1.5 kilometers and eliminate a target at the other end. But there's a slight problem. Because let's say our sniper, the person we've chosen to train as a sniper, believes that it is wrong to take human life. And so the belief that he or she holds is at odds with the skills that we've taught them. And the belief that they hold, i.e. that it is wrong to take a human life, is based on the values that they have in life. And those values might be based in religion, for argument's sake, because let's say that they absolutely believe that to murder is wrong, to kill is wrong. And so there's a value base that is at conflict, at odds with the skills that they have been taught. And the value base is informed by the identity that they take on. And their identity might be one of either very deeply Christian, or it could be, what's the word that I'm looking for? My tongue has twisted and I've run out of English on a Monday afternoon. But let's just say that it is a very deep-seated religious belief. Let's say they are part of a Sikh community, or an Amish community for that matter, who are pacifist through and through. And so because they identify with that, it informs their values, which informs their beliefs, and those are at odds with the skills that we've taught them. And it's because that's the environment within which they find themselves. So if we don't influence the environment, in other words, if we don't touch the identity, the values, the beliefs, and ingrain those from a shift point of view, then the skills that we impart are not going to deliver the results, either in terms of actions, decisions, or behavior. So what do you think will happen when we put a pacifist, we train a pacifist as a sniper and put them into the field of battle? Yes, they have the skill to put that bullet slap bang in the bullseye, but because it conflicts with their beliefs, they're either going to miss on purpose, or they're going to hesitate and not take the shot, or they might shoot just to wound. And does that achieve the results that we are looking for? Well, no. They won't follow the correct action. They won't make the right decisions, and therefore the behaviors will be completely off the mark as well. So this is why the fundamentals of setting a firm vision based or a firm vision that is congruent with our beliefs, that is completely aligned with our beliefs, our values, and our identity, is so important when we are setting the vision for our business. It's pointless we set the vision in a way that we are not able to sustain, and in a way that is not authentic. So this is why, and for Dipesh and Terry, the session that I ran on Friday is up on YouTube, on my YouTube website, YouTube channel, is Action Coach _ Brendan Botha, and you'll find it under 13 steps to take your business from survive to thrive. And so these are the first 2 steps in setting the fundamentals, being the setting of a dream chart and the setting of a vision, identifying the why, the purpose, and what we call the big, hairy, audacious goal. But none of that is going to be achievable if we are not working from a position and a base of belief and value and absolute identity. And that talks to the first 2 slides that I've spoken through. So that's crucial, because we can very easily follow a little formula for success in life, and therefore success in business. And that formula is B times do equals have. So if we want to achieve a particular outcome, there are certain actions we need to take. And in order to take those certain actions, there is somebody that we need to be. And you can see how this connects back into this concept of results are dependent on environment, actions, decisions, and behavior being informed by skills, belief, values, and identity. Skills are what we can do. Beliefs, values, and identity are who we need to be, or who we are. And results, obviously, are the have. So if I want to have a business that is thriving and that is growing, or on a growth path by the time we come out of lockdown, there are certain actions that I have to do now. And if I'm not comfortable with doing those actions, I have to ask myself, who do I need to be, or who do I need to become to be able to achieve the end state that I want? So if making sure that I have a strong pipeline to the end of lockdown and for 60 days beyond that, if that means that I need to get on a call and make 150 cold calls a week to be able to establish that pipeline, that's what I need to do. Well, now I go, well, actually, I'm an introvert and I'm afraid of rejection, so I don't see myself being able to do cold calls. Well, guess what? Best you actually get yourself skilled to the point and identify inside yourself what is it that needs to shift to allow me to achieve the success that I really desire, or how do I work with what I am and who I am and the skills that I have to be able to achieve that. So maybe that means that, yeah, I'm terrified to death of being rejected on the phone. So therefore, I need to employ somebody who can do that for me. So if I can't be the salesman, I have to be the manager of a salesman that I need to employ to help me achieve the end state of my business. And that's the very simple structure of B times do equals have, that is drawn from this particular slide, which is our identity iceberg. So I'm going to park the presentation there. I've got about 10 more minutes to the end of the call, and then I just want to open conversation about this. Get some of your views. And get some of your inputs on this as literally the first step to setting a firm foundation for growth in your business over the next couple of weeks.